Do you think you'd be able to survive Squid Games? Today, that's what we're going to be diving into. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. As a Squid Games enjoyer, first of all, I would never participate in these games, but I did come across this fantastic thread over here by Cass Purin. Would you survive the Squid Games interactive thread? And we're going to take a look at what they had to say today, and I cannot wait to dive into this because I'd feel pretty confident in the Squid Games, but the problem is only one person would remain, and your chances of surviving with all of those people, there's bound to be somebody that might be better than you regardless. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Let's talk about this, okay? Game 0. Daji, I don't remember how to pronounce that, to be honest with you. Would you even get invited? Each player has their own tile, and one tile is placed on the ground. You take turns throwing tiles at one on the ground, trying to flip it over. If you successfully flip the tile, you win the round. This is a very, very difficult one, and I would imagine, and out of Season 1, I actually don't remember if we could do, if there's another game that would be a little bit more difficult than this, because it looks to be so awkward. Throwing that letter on the ground or their own tile on the ground, it feels like something that you really, really need to practice, and we all know that in the game, people actually have, like, major problems completing this. First of all, I would not get invited, but I don't think that I would be able even to enter the Squid Games, because I don't imagine that I would win this. I don't see myself winning this. Like, you'd have to sit down and either get really lucky, or this is something that you'd have to actually practice, so I guess I wouldn't even be in the Squid Games, but let's pretend I get a lucky throw, I toss that thing down, it flips over, I enter the Squid Games, okay? Game number 1, red light, green light. You run when the doll turns around and stop when she faces you. The eyes on the doll are motion sensors. If they catch you moving, you'll be shot and eliminated. The goal is to make it to the finish line. Well, I mean, you're allowed to move as long as you do this. You just have to not move. You just have to not move. Like, I guess, like, you can get away with anything as long as you're as long as your arm's over your mouth. Can I, like, walk forward like this? All right, guys. All right, everybody, I'm walking forward, but this motion sensor thinks that I'm standing still. Like, it was so strange. It's so funny. Like, it's such a good show, but sometimes it's like little things like that drive me nuts, man. But anyways, for red light, green light, this one is very, very easy unless you have somebody actually sabotaging you, like Thanos pushing you down to the ground. This is simple. I'd play it safe. I'd move forward quickly, but I would stop before that doll actually turns around, so I'd already know that I'm safe. You just have to make sure that nobody runs into you. So I'd probably, like, go way off to the side where nobody else is. But at the end of the day, I am very confident that I'd be able to get red light and green light done. That's probably the easiest one out of all of them. Continuing on to game number 2, Dalgona. Okay, I forgot about this one. I'm out. For the sake of logic, you are randomly assigned to a shape, as in the show. They didn't know the game until after they picked the shape. You must then carve the shape you received out of a honeycomb without it cracking. Now, I would not have known to, or even thought to lick the thing. If I got umbrella, I'd be absolutely screwed. Triangle, I feel like I could do it. And the circle is a little bit more difficult, but I might be able to do that as well. This is, unfortunately for me, where I would most likely get out. But hey, you know what? Let's continue on, because maybe I got the triangle. Maybe I got it well done. Or are we actually entering these games after we've watched the show? So would I know to start licking the thing? Or would I watch someone else start licking it and I go, okay, you know what? Maybe that's actually a solid idea. I would imagine, for me personally, I would be out at this one. But for the sake of the video, let's continue on over to the next challenge. Number 3. Lights out. Disagreements are bound to happen, leading to a fight. Note the video's glitchy, and we're not watching the video. We don't want to get copyright. So it's just to survive the night, right? The problem is, does anybody have a weapon? I would imagine at some point somebody would have a weapon, but I would be doing my very best this entire time to build relationships with people. That's what I would want to do in this, because I don't trust anybody else, so I'd want to make sure that I don't burn any bridges and I don't end up on somebody's bad side. Regardless, if you haven't followed any of my other channels, if you're new to this content creation journey that I'm on, by the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, hit like, subscribe. We talk about movies and TV shows all the time on this channel. Plus, we have many other channels in the description down below, Linktree if you're interested. Regardless, I have an extensive background in martial arts. I am a Muay Thai kickboxer and jiu-jitsu fighter, so I am very, very comfortable when it comes to any sort of physical confrontation. I'd be okay. Like, it doesn't matter the size of the person. I'm very confident in myself. The problem becomes, like, does this person have a weapon? Because something that I'm actually not trained on is fighting against a weapon. Self-defense if somebody comes with a knife. The first rule is to not fight. If it comes to just surviving, though, I like my chances in Lights Out. Plus, I would do my best to build relationships prior to this, because, again, I wouldn't trust anybody, especially when we find out that people are dying. I wouldn't really... I'd be on top of the ball, man. Even if we didn't watch Squid Game, I would know that this is a possibility in such a game where everybody starts dying. So Lights Out is absolutely one where I would pass. Game number 3, Tug of War. In Squid Game, Tug of War is played on a high platform with 2 teams pulling on a heavy rope. The goal is to pull the opposing team off the platform. Losing means falling to the ground below, resulting in your death. This one is completely luck-based. It matters who's on your team. I don't recall if they ended up picking teams. If they picked teams, I would imagine that it would build good relationships enough where I could like weasel my way onto a team. Because honestly, guys, I am a pretty small guy. I'm 5'7". I am not in the best shape, but with all of my martial arts experience, I am very deceivingly strong. I have that jiu-jitsu strength. I have that, like, we've practiced for so long lifting people that are heavier than you. Like, I can carry dead body weight perfectly fine. But the problem is my outside appearance does not reflect that. So would people even want me in a game of tug of war? When it's a game of life or death, would they take my word saying, hey, I'm actually a very strong guy? I would imagine not, and I would imagine the teams would, like, be based on bigger people. But then again, there's also old people, there's women, there would be people that I would be chosen above. So this one is, man, it is a very, very, very tough one. I would definitely have to luck out in tug of war. I would definitely have to like find myself on a really solid team, but tug of war might be where I would actually end up costing it too. Let's continue on over to game number 4, marbles. The marbles game is played in pairs. Each player gets 10 marbles and can choose any game they want to play with them. The goal is to take 10 marbles from your opponent within a set time. If you lose all your marbles, you lose the game and your life. Now, it depends, of course, what you want to play when it comes to marbles, right? You can choose any game. I don't know if this is allowed. I would imagine it is allowed in the Squid Games. Can I just take the marbles by force? I would imagine that nobody would have a weapon, and if that's the case, it depends who I'd be up against, right? If it's like an actual scumbag where I've watched them kill people throughout this journey, like in the nighttime, if I've watched them kill people, then yeah, I would take the marbles by force. I would put somebody to sleep, and then I would just walk away with my marbles, and then I'd be very, very comfortable with this. Plus, I know a lot of people got paired up with their best friend over here. This I would be onto. If it's any sort of game, like any sort of Mr. Beast type challenge like Squid Game, I would not trust it, and I would not pair myself with a best friend, especially in a game where you know that people are dying. So I'd make sure I would do my best to pair with somebody that I actually don't like, and then I would try to take the marbles through actual, like, just taking the marbles. I would take them physically, and I would unfortunately have to, subdue the other person, but I'm very, very comfortable doing that. I think that I do a good job, but if I happen to be paired up with somebody that I did like, then I would not be able to do that to somebody. I would not be able to walk away knowing that I cheated. I wouldn't be able to do that to somebody consciously, okay? So I would then make it like a heads versus tails type thing. I would then make it a game. So just like the game, well, I mean, not really a game, just like actually surviving over the night, I am very comfortable with my chances of survival for marvels. Let's continue on to game number 5, Glass Bridge. Players must cross a long bridge made of glass panels. Each step has 2 panels, one made of strong tempered glass and the other fragile glass that shatters under weight. Players take turns choosing a panel to step on, falling if they pick the wrong one. I'd survive this, no problem, because no matter what, I would not be the person stepping forward. No way. I'd be a couple behind, and I'd be like, I'm standing here. We're all dying. I'm not going first. That is never happening. So this one, I would survive. I would imagine that somebody would take the chance and run forward because they don't want to die. That guy's not going to be me. I am absolutely surviving the glass bridge 1000%, okay? Game number 6, Squid Game. The field is shaped like a squid with attackers starting at the bottom and defenders trying to stop them. The attacker's goal is to reach a circle at the top of the squid and stand in it with both feet. The defender's job is to push him out of bounds. This I would excel at. I would absolutely excel at. First of all, I grew up playing football. My balance is incredible from my fighting experience, and I'm very difficult to take down, and I can take down people. I can use people's momentum against them. Nice little hip throw. Like anything when it comes to something actually physical, I would absolutely survive in this Squid Game. So if I were to make it to the end of Squid Game, the only problem is it would probably be somebody who is also very, very capable in the Squid Game with me. So can I beat that one person? Of course, it's easy for me to sit down and say, yes, I can, but you never know who you're going up against. What if it's somebody that's even more capable fighter than I am? So I'd have to have luck of the draw. I like my chances. I would be more likely to survive this than I would not when it actually comes to Squid Game. And that puts an end over to season 1. Did we win? No, I did not win. I wouldn't get invited. I would lose at, is it Dalgo? I don't remember what it is. I'd lose at the cookie crumble. I would be very, very vulnerable in tug of war, and then it depends who we get put up against during the marble game. So I do not like my chances surviving a Squid Game. It's just very, very particular things that would have to take place for me to actually end up surviving the Squid Game. But at the end of the day, only one person can end. Everybody shouldn't have their chances like. But, well, how would you do in the Squid Game, guys? Let me know how you would do. And there was one thing about Season 2, by the way, that really actually changed my outlook on how I viewed a certain character within Squid Game. If you're interested in that, then you can check out this video on screen. I would love to have you guys over there. I just realized my puppy's laying with her legs open. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care.